Hello and welcome to Baiju's Exam Prep IAS. Let's begin today's daily quiz with question number 1 on your screen. Consider the following statements with regards to the Sansad Ratna Award. Number 1. The award was established in 2010 to honor top performing MPs. Second, the award was established based on the recommendation given by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. And third, the selection committee for the award is headed by the Lok Sabha Speaker. You have to choose which of these given statements is or are correct. The correct answer here is B. 1 and 2 are correct. The third statement is wrong. This award came into being in 2010 and it actually is originally established by an NGO called the Prime Point Foundation. This NGO that gives out this award, they request a number of members of parliament to form a committee to decide who should be given this award. This committee is not essentially headed by the Lok Sabha Speaker. It does have members of parliament only, but not essentially the Lok Sabha Speaker. That is why the first and the second statements are correct. Do remember, the Sansad Ratna Award is not the same as the Outstanding Parliamentarian Award. That is entirely different. The reason why we are discussing this is because the Andaman and Nicobar Islands Member of Parliament, that is Mr. Kuldeep Rai Sharma, has been given the Sansad Ratna Award for 2022. This award was given to him by the Chief Election Commissioner of India, that is Mr. Sushil Chandra. Next, question number 2. Which of the following fundamental rights in India is or are available exclusively to the minority community only? Article 29 and 30, Article 29 only, Article 30 only, or 28, 29 and 30. The correct answer here is C, Article 30 only. Now, there might be a slight confusion in your mind because the Constitution of India in Part 3 mentions that Article 29 and Article 30 are minority rights. However, the language of Article 29 says that any section of citizens residing in India. That is why the phrase any section of citizens implies the minorities and non-minorities as well. The Supreme Court of India has also clarified that Article 29 is available not just to the minorities but to the non-minority communities as well. That leaves us with Article 30, which is the only fundamental right in the Indian Constitution that is available exclusively to the minority community. As you know, the Article 30 gives a fundamental right to the minorities to establish and administer education institutions. It says that they shall have the right to establish and administer education institutions of their choice. The article also says that the government shall not discriminate against any education institution on the ground that it is under the management of a minority, whether it is religious minority or linguistic minority. The reason why we are discussing this question is because the Supreme Court will be hearing a matter on 28th of March, under which the petitioner is asking that the minority tag should be given to the Hindu community also in certain states where they are not majority. As of today, the minority tag is only decided at an all India level. The Government of India has identified 6 communities as minorities, that is Muslims, Christians, Sikh, Buddhists, Parsis and Jains. The petition filed in the Supreme Court says that Hindus should be given the minority tag in 7 states and 1 union territory so that they can also avail benefits of minority schemes that are being run by the government. The Supreme Court of India has been asking the central government to file an affidavit about what is their opinion on this issue before the Supreme Court hears this matter completely. Next, question number 3. Consider the following statements with regards to the olive ridley turtles. Number 1. They are a part of Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. Second, they are best known for their unique mass nesting called Aribada. Third, Odisha's Gahirmatha Marine Sanctuary is known as the world's largest rookery or colony of breeding animals of sea turtles. Which of these given statements is or are correct? The correct answer here is D. All the 3 given statements here are correct. We have seen multiple questions based on olive ridley turtles being asked by the UPSC in the prelims examination. That is because specifically Odisha is the place of world's largest breeding site of these sea turtles. They are given utmost protection and that is why they are placed in Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. The reason why we are discussing this question is because of this article in the Hindu newspaper today, according to which fewer number of olive ridley turtles have reached the Godavari site. As per the experts, One of the reasons for a drop in the number of turtles approaching the Godavari side can be the high speed fishing boats, because these animals are trapped by these boats, and that is why they avoid coming to the shore on the Godavari side. As per the official data, in 2018-19, about 1061 turtles arrived at the Godavari sanctuary. This number dropped to 640 in 2019-20, and in 2020 this number dropped even further to 471 turtles. This ongoing season, so far about 101 turtles have arrived. The government also takes multiple steps to ensure that this remains a safe breeding site for these turtles. That is why there is a team of 25 fisher folk who collect these turtle eggs and ensure that hatchlings are released into the sea. That is why the survival rate for these turtle eggs is over 90% right now. Next, question number 4. Which of the following set of nations represent the BIMSTEC members? India, Pakistan, Nepal, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Thailand and Cambodia, or India, Maldives and Thailand? The correct answer here is B. Nepal, Bhutan and Myanmar, all these three are members of BIMSTEC. In the first option, Pakistan is not a member of BIMSTEC. In the third option, Cambodia is not a member of BIMSTEC, while in the last option, Maldives is not a member of the BIMSTEC. And that is why the correct answer here is B. The reason why we are discussing this question is because India's External Affairs Minister is reaching out to the Indian Ocean neighbors of India. He will be stopping at multiple nations, starting with Maldives, and then he will next go to Sri Lanka, which is the site of the approaching BIMSTEC conference. Because Myanmar is still under the rule of the military, the Indian leaders did not want to share the same stage as Myanmar, and that is why India managed to convince Sri Lanka to hold the BIMSTEC summit online so that we can attend it along with the Myanmar rulers but not being present at the same place at the same time. Next is a previous year question from 2020. With reference to India's biodiversity, Ceylon frogmouth, coppersmith barbet, grey-shined minivet, and white-throated redstart are birds, primates, reptiles, or amphibians? The correct answer here is A. All these are different varieties of birds. These species-based questions are pretty common for the UPSC prelims examination. Each year you would see at least 1 or 2 questions on these lines. The Sri Lankan frogmouth, which is also known as a Ceylon frogmouth because Ceylon is the old name of Sri Lanka, is usually found in the Western Ghats of India and in Sri Lanka. It is a bird that can grow up to 23 centimeter in length. That is why the correct answer here is A. Next, we have a fact of the day, and today we will be discussing about the contribution of Kartar Singh Sarabha in the life of Shahid Bhagat Singh. Unfortunately, we don't really read a lot about Kartar Singh Sarabha and his contribution. However, at the young age of 19 when he was hanged, he was already an idol for many freedom fighters, including Bhagat Singh. Kartar Singh Sarabha was a co-founder of the Gadar movement and was hanged to death in Lahore in 1915. In fact, Professor Chaman Lal in his book writes that every meeting of Naujawan Bharat Sabha, which was founded by Bhagat Singh, would start after first garlanding the photo of Kartar Singh Sarabha, means putting a flower string on the photo of Kartar Singh Sarabha. Not just this, Bhagat Singh used to always carry a picture of Kartar Singh Sarabha in his wallet so that he could always be united with his true guru. Kartar Singh Sarabha was an engineering student from the University of California, Berkeley. When he went to Berkeley, this is where he met with the famous Sanskrit scholar Sohan Singh Bhakna, who was also a farmer. These people together formed an association called the Pacific Coast Hindustan Association, which later turned into the Gadar Party. Sarabha was the youngest of all the founding members of the Gadar Party at that point of time. Because of his active involvement in the Gadar Party, especially in the fundraising efforts, he was given the nickname Bala Jarnail, means boy general. That is because at such a young age he was acting as the leader of the entire group. In February of 1915, the British authorities got information about the Gadar Party members and a lot of them were arrested. This later came to be known as the Lahore conspiracy case, under which Kartar Singh Sarabha was hanged till death. In fact, in the court, the judges, after seeing his young age, had asked him to rethink over his statement and to say that he did not really support the activities of the Gadar Party. However, he stuck to his stance and resulted in losing his life for the freedom of the country. He was hanged with 6 other people on November 16, 1915. This is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching.